Hello, myself Priyanka Sharma, Assistant Professor, RIMT University, Mandi Govindgarh, School of Health Sciences. Today I have discussed about a pre-operative and post-operative care and its management. First, pre-operative care. Firstly, definition of pre-operative care. Pre-operative care refers to health care provided before a surgical procedure. Then second definition of pre-operative care, pre-operative nursing care is preparation and management of a patient prior to surgery. It includes both physical and psychological preparation of the patient. Then purpose of pre-operative care. There are various purpose of pre-operative care. First, diagnostic. Second, cosmetic. Third, constructive. First, diagnostic. In surgical explorations that allow physician to confirm diagnose may involve removal of tissues for further diagnostic testing such as a breast mass biopsy. Then second, cosmetic. Cosmetic, it performed to remove personal appearance, for example a rhinoplasty to reshape the nose. Third, purpose of pre-operative care, constructive. It restore the functions lost or reduced as result congenital abnormalities such as repair of cleft palate, closure of arterial septum defect in heart. Then next, role of nurse in pre-operative care. There are various roles of nursing in pre-operative care. First, pre-operative assessment. Second, obtaining informed consent. Third, pre-operative teaching. Fourth, physical preparation of patient. Next, psychological preparation. First, pre-operative assessment. There are different points. Review pre-operative laboratory and diagnostic study. Second, review the client health history. Third, assess physical needs, and next assess the psychological needs and assess the cultural needs. First, review the pre-operative laboratory and diagnostic study. It include various tests before a surgical procedure such as a complete blood count. It include HB. HB means hemoglobin. TLC means total leukocyte count. DLC means differentiate leukocyte count. BT means bleeding time. CT clotting time, and ESR erythrosedimentation rate. Then next, blood type and cross matching, serum electrolytes, urine lysis, chest x-ray and ECG. Next, review the client health history. Before surgery, history of patient, present illness and reason for surgery, past medical history, medical condition, it may be acute or chronic, then previous hospitalization, surgery, then any type of allergy of any medications, then history of past problems with anesthesia, then surgical abuse such as alcohol, tobacco, and take any medicine, any take of medicines. Then next one is the review the client health history. Assess physical needs, ability to communications, vital sign. Vital sign means a temperature, pulse, respirations and BP, and it also include a urine intake output chart. Then level of consciousness, confusion, drowsiness, and check the weight and height before a surgical procedure. Then assess psychological needs. It is include in a emotional state, level of understanding of surgical procedure, coping strategies and support systems. Then second point is the obtaining informed consent. Before surgery, the client must sign a surgical consent for the operating permit. Then second point is a client must sign a consent form for any procedure that require anesthesia and have a risk for complications. If an adult is confused or unconscious, a family members and guardian must sign the consent form. Then next, if the client is younger than 18 years of age, then parents or legal guardians must a consent form. If any emergency, the surgeon may have operate without consent, then healthcare personnel however makes every effort to obtain consent by a telephone or fax. Then each nurse must be familiar with the agency policy and state law regarding a surgical consent form, means maintain a rules and regulation of a hospital. Then next point is client must sign the consent form before receiving the any type of pre-operative sedatives. Then next third point is pre-operative teaching. Pre-operative teaching, then teaching client about their surgical procedure and expectation before and after surgery is best done during the pre-operative period. Then next point, clients are more adult and free of pain at this time. Then information in a pre-operative teaching plan varies with a type of surgery and length of hospitalizations. Then pre-operative teaching plans, there are of different points pre-operative medications such as antibiotics, anti-anxiety drugs, then a pre-operative pain control, and encourage the patient for a deep breath exercise and coughing exercise, then position changes to reduce the bed sores, and feet and leg exercise. Then fourth point is a physical preparation of patient. There are include a following areas: encourage the patient for take proper nutrition and fluids, maintain hygiene, eliminations and proper sleeping. Then a vital signs, it is include in a temperature, pulse, respiration and blood pressure. Then psychological preparation, it is carefully preparation pre-operative teaching can reduce fear and anxiety of the patient. Then pre-operative diagnose, then first diagnose is the anxiety related to a surgical procedure evidenced by a facial expressions. Then first goal of this diagnose is to reduce anxiety of the patient. Then nursing interventions, first nursing intervention is assess the general condition of the patient and assess the level of anxiety of the patient. Second point is the assess the nutritional status of the patient. Then check the condition of the patient and give a comfortable position to the patient, and every question is answered to the patient as well as the family members. Then second nursing diagnose is a pain related to disease condition evidenced by observations. Then first point is this diagnose goal to reduce pain. Then nursing interventions assess the level and location of pain, then give a comfortable position to the patient, give psychological support to the patient, then diversional therapy is provided to the patient and analgesic drug to the patient according to a doctor order. Then third diagnose of pre-operative diagnose, then deficit knowledge related to disease condition and treatment evidenced by asking questions. First assess the general condition of the patient, then second is the assess the knowledge regarding to the disease condition of the patient as well as a family member. Then encourage the patient for take medicine at proper time and encourage the patient for regular checkup and take medicine at proper time. Then encourage the patient for a deep breath exercise. Then next one is the post-operative care. First definition of post-operative care. Post-operative care is the care that the patient receive after a surgical procedure. The type of post-operative care that the patient need depend on the type of surgery as well as the patient history. Then purpose of a post-operative care, there are various purpose of post-operative care. First, to enable to successful and faster recovery of patient post-operatively. Second, to reduce post-operative mortality rate, to reduce the length of hospital stay of patient. Next one is to provide quality care services, to reduce the hospital and patent cost, reducing post-operative periods. Then next is the immediate care. it is the immediate recovery phase and require intensive nursing care to detect early sign of complications, then receive a complete patient records from a operating room which to plan post operative care. Then next one is the it is designed of care of surgical patient immediately after surgery, and patient require close monitoring of the patient such as a vital sign of the patient means ki temperature, pulse, respiration, BP and urinary intake output chart. Then nursing management in a post operative units. First assess the patient. First assess the general condition of the patient and frequently assessment of the patient for oxygen saturation, pulse volume, skin color, depth of consciousness. Then second point is the maintaining a patent airway. The main objectives and primary objectives are to maintain a pulmonary ventilation and prevent a hypoxia and a hypercapnia. Then provide oxygen and assess respiratory rate and depth and oxygen saturation. Then third point is the maintaining cardiovascular stabilities. It is include in the assess the patient mental status, vital sign, cardiac rhythm, skin temperature, color and urine output, central venous pressure, arterial lines and pulmonary artery pressure. And second point is the primary cardiovascular complications include a hypotension, shock, hemorrhage and dysarrhythmia. Then fourth point is the relief pain and anxiety means give anti-anxiety drug to the patient according to doctor order, and analgesic is also given to the patient according to a doctor order. Then fifth point is assessing and managing the surgical site. The surgical site is observed for bleeding, type and integrity of dressing and drain. Then sixth point is assessing and managing gastrointestinal functions. The nausea and vomitings are common after anesthesia, and check the peristalsis movement during a post-op. Then a seventh point is encourage activities. Most surgery are encouraged to be out of bed soon as possible. Early amputation is important to reduce the incidence of post-operative complications. Then complications of a surgical procedure. First is a shock, second hemorrhage, third deep vein thrombosis. First shock. Shock is the response of the body to a decrease in the circulating volume of blood, tissue perfusion impaired, then cellular hypoxia and death. Then hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is the escape of blood from a blood vessels. Third, deep vein thrombosis occurs in a pelvic veins or in a lower extremities, and it is common after a hip surgery. Then next is the bibliography or references. Lewis Medical Surgical Nursing Assessment and Management of a Clinical Problem, 2nd edition, page number 362 to 364. Then Brunner and Siddharth, textbook of medical surgical, 12th edition, page number 461 to 462. Thank you.